I've been studying a little bit of DraftSight drafting application program. I've been doing everything so far in knife making on paper with pencil, thinking that was the easiest way because I didn't know how to use any AutoCAD or drafting programs. Boy, was I wrong. After only about an hour of YouTube tutorials on how to use DraftSight, and with less than 10 commands or functions that I knew how to use, I was able to draw on DraftSight nearly every knife so far that I have been drawing by hand, and it looks a lot better in DraftSight. And the awesome thing is, I can then send those files straight to the water jet company, and they could cut it out immediately, um, which is kind of cool. I do like making knives by hand and grinding them, but there are some features or some design elements that are really time consuming to do by hand that a water jet can do very quickly, very inexpensively, and actually look really nice. So I've been experimenting with that. I've worked on DraftSight for about 3 hours total now, and I have a little portfolio of my knives that I've put together. We'll look at some of those and see how easy they are to manipulate. Okay, so this knife here, the Bushmaster BK12, it's a 12-inch long knife, inch and a half wide blade, inch and 3/4 wide at the bolster. Excuse me. It's up here, the BK12. I did this one yesterday in like 25 minutes. And then you can take that file, and all the only things that I've been using so far is I'll use a straight line and an arc and a circle, and I do everything with those functions. And then down here that it's handy, I use a grid. I'll turn the ortho on and off depending on if I want it to hold a really straight line or if I want to be able to move the line around. And then the E-snap is nice because it will automatically pick like endpoints. When you get close to them, it'll snap onto them kind of. And if you turn that off, then you can freehand a little bit more if you need to. So those are the only functions that I've been using actually. This here is the clip point. You can highlight this, just show a little bit how fast they are to manipulate. Knock that thing off, and then say I wanted to do Tonto. Draw a line down here, do the E-snap. Snaps right on the, when it gets close, it snaps onto that point. Oops, I'll turn the ortho off, because when ortho's on, all you can do is up or down or left and right. It doesn't let you do any diagonal. So we'll turn the ortho off, and then I come over here and bam, it snaps right on there. Hit the escape key to stop the function, and suddenly it becomes a Tonto fighter. And you could send that to a water jet, and they would cut it out exactly like that. Now, of course, when you send it to the water jet, you wouldn't want these in there, so we would cut those out. Because you don't want the water jet to cut your knife in half. And then see, I'll zoom in a little bit. I'll need to repair this, so I'll put ortho back on so we be sure and get a straight line. I'll select line function, clicks on there, escape to function, and there it is. You can send that file, this exact file, I could email to the water jet company, and they would cut it out just like that. And you could even, on some of my other knives, we'll go through that a little bit here. I actually put the pinholes in the blank already, so the water jet can cut the pinhole, and then I've copied the handle. Let's go ahead and go over there. We'll X out of this and not save anything. That's easy to manipulate. We'll get out of there and we'll go to the BK Skinner. This is a design that I've been doing myself, or I came up with myself. Okay, so here we have the blank on the top, and then we have it skeletonized a little bit for weight, so the water jet will cut that hole out, cut that hole out. These are the pinholes. They will be at 1/8 diameter. And then what I did was I copied that part of the knife and brought it down here. So, and then I removed the lightning hole, the skeleton hole there and there. I just deleted those features. Left these others exactly where they were, everything else the same, and then I added this so that the water jet, when it comes in, and these shouldn't really matter too much. I can trim those off later when I learn how to use the trim function. But really that won't matter so much for the water jet, but once I get the blank cut out of metal, I can put up a piece of micarta and it will come in here and cut the holes, and then it would start in here and cut this out and then part it off right there, so that I would have a perfectly fit, already drilled handle scale ready to either rivet on or use another kind of fastener, whatever I wanted to use, to attach that straight to the knife, and it would already be profiled, so then it would be just a small amount of finish sanding to clean up the edges, and then do a cutting bevel over here. So of course you'd do all that work before you put the handle on, obviously. And then you can check out your knife. I'm going to copy this line. I'm going to bring it up here and paste it. Copy and paste is really cool on this thing here. So I'm going to paste it right there about where I think I would want the bevel to be. And you can drag, let me turn that snap off. It snapped right to the end point. Okay, so we turn snap off, snap off, then we'll freehand here. So now, when I escape that function, now I can see what it would look like with the bevel on it. And of course I wouldn't want to leave that line on for the water jet, because everything that's on there, it will cut. And so if it cuts through there, it'll cut half the knife off almost. So anyway, that's good for, just visualizing, but you don't want to have this on when you send it to the water jet. So you can just cut that line out of there and boom, back to there. So this is really a fun program. I'm sure that anybody that actually knows how to use this for a living, or a lot better than I do, is probably sick at how clumsy I am with it. But I'm really excited about how easy it is to actually use, and the products that you can, or the items that you can produce with it. I'm really going to start doing a lot more with it. And other than knives, I'm going to start using it for my other projects. I had no idea it would be that easy. I've been laying out patterns on pieces of metal and cutting them with the plasma torch. What a knucklehead. Okay, I don't want to save any of those. Now what I'm going to start doing more is actually designing flat patterns and things on here for brackets and plates and reinforcement and whatever I need, and then just have it water jetted for a very small amount of money. Water jets aren't expensive to have used. The one that's near me, they can water jet at $2 a minute, and so for a 10-inch knife out of A2 tool steel, 3/16 of an inch thick, they estimated it would be $7 water jet fee. So that's about 3.5 minutes of water jet time to cut out a perfect blank. That's amazing. That would take me probably 20 minutes to do by the time I turned on the plasma cutter. Alright, let's look at some other stuff while I'm talking here. This BK Skinner 2. This is kind of the design that I have originally. Where did that thing go? I lost it last night. I don't know where it went. There it is. I just zoomed way too much. Okay, I was just way too zoomed. That's on accident. Alright, this is, I was experimenting on this last night to open the hole a little bit more because I thought this space was too narrow. That's not exactly the one that I wanted to see. We don't save anything there. Here are some of my earlier attempts. What I'll do, just for my own reference, is I'll draw a box that's going to be the size, the diameter or the size dimensions that I want to work within, and I use that as a guide just because I'm not that good at using this yet. And then you can delete the box when you get your knife done the way you want it, and it's just easy to delete. Just cut those out. Yeah. And then down here, what I was doing, let's zoom in down there. You can see how clumsy I was, you know. My first, this is my first like 30 minutes of working was on this page here. But you can see that my lines don't line up right. Well, that's not a big problem. You can select those things, put that down there. Oh, I've attached that as a unit, but anyway, I could delete that and do it again. You can move your line back. Let's see, if you put the E-snap on, move it right there, it snaps in place. Bang, let's escape. Escape. The function, and there the line is prepared. So, you know, you just get your shapes in place, and then you can start manipulating them around until you get what you like, and you can just, I don't know, grab your lines and move everything around. It's a lot of fun. And anyway, I would recommend, if you have any interest in this sort of thing, DraftSight. It's free. I've got the free version. And you can save your files in all kinds of formats. You can even save, let's see, we'll get out of here. I don't want to save anything there. It's just practice. One of the things I like is the copy and paste feature, so I can make a bunch of handle designs, and then I could copy and paste those onto, you know, blade designs, so you can mix and match. Get a kind of a palette of handles or handle styles or features of handles, curves, angles, bolsters, pommels, and make that kind of stuff interchangeable so you can plug and play. Alright, then I'm going to show this real quick here. We'll just do the BK Skinner one. You can save in PDF if you want to, and print out. So I could save this and print it out, and then you know, cut that out and put it onto a piece of plexiglass or something if I wanted to actually make the pattern myself at home. Even the same for that handle. And then so what I like to do is, before I actually put something into metal, is I put it into plexiglass, and then I like to hold it and see how it actually fits, because early on I discovered that what looks good on paper doesn't always feel good in your hand. And so sometimes I've shorted the handle and had the handle too short, and I thought it looked really cool on paper. When I put it in my hand, it just wasn't useful at all. But this one actually feels pretty nice. I've cut a piece of paper out. I'm in the hotel here working. I've cut one out of a piece of paper so I can hold it. And it's not quite the same as holding a plexiglass one, but you can see that it's, you know, it fits decent in your hand. And that's where I discovered that this area right here where my finger is rubbing was just a little bit too narrow for hand, or for finger to slip. You know, you can put your finger through there, but I wanted to be able to slip finger in and out, and so I didn't want to be dragging on there. So I actually did a, what was that? I actually did a BK Skinner 1A revision. And here it is, and you might not be able to notice it a whole lot, but I've actually opened this dimension right here up an amount. And then I changed on this one, I've changed to a straight cutoff handle scale instead of the rounded one that I had on the BK1 drawing plate. And so actually either one of these handles scales would fit on, actually no they won't, because I've edited this area. I've actually shrunk this. I've moved it close. I've moved this up just a small amount and then moved that back, so the other handle scale on the BK1 wouldn't fit now if I were to do that way. And so I just copied and pasted these lines. What I did, I'll give that a quick demonstration. I just copied or selected that, selected the angle there, selected that one there, selected that, selected the pinholes, everything that I wanted to be incorporated into the handle, and then right click your mouse, copy, come over here somewhere, right click your mouse, paste it, voila. And there is what I'm going to use for the what I would use for the handle scale. And then you can come down here. Let me turn the E-snap off because I'm going to freehand. I'll come over and select the arc. I'm just freehanding here, so I'll put the arc. See, I'll put it way down here on there. And I'll come out, and I really don't know how to use this thing. It's like trial. I do it. For me, it's trial and error. This is the part that would drive someone who actually knows how to use this program crazy, because I will do this line 3 or 4 or 5 times before I get it the way I like it, because I really don't understand how it works. But I'll select a point out there and then come up here, select another point, and it makes a nice little arc. And so a water jet will come in. Well, actually, a water jet would come in and do your holes first, then come down your micarta pattern, you know, run the pattern just like that. It may go down there even, I don't know, that doesn't matter. And then it would part it off, and then it would fall out. And like I said before, when I learned how to use the trim, there's several trim features in here that you can trim your lines, so then I could get rid of these excesses. Actually, let's look at that. I watched a video on that last night. We'll go to Modify, Trim, and it says specify the cutting edge, so I want it to trim back to this line, and this is the line I want to trim. Oh, let's see, then I'm going to put enter. Now specify segments to remove, and so I want to remove that segment. Enter. I don't have it figured out yet. Anyway, I'll have to work on that some more. I'll have to watch the video again another time or two to see all the clicks, because sometimes they don't explain exactly everything that they're doing real well. They're moving around very quickly, and you miss 1 or 2 things, or even one thing, and it doesn't function. So I have to watch anyway a couple of times. Alright, so that's what I've been doing in the hotel the last couple of days. This is a lot of fun. I think it could be really handy for someone that wants to actually do anything. Obviously it's handy, that's why people make their living with this stuff. But yeah, it's adding a new dimension to my knife making and other projects that never existed before, so it's really super exciting to me.